Hey, good evening, LinkedIn. Dave Wilson of the Ring and Hire Show. Hey, tonight, quick discussion about jobs boards versus social media and some recruiting questions that I had today. So be right back after this. All right. Whew. It's been a long day. You got to love the world of staffing. It just never friggin' ends from morning to friggin' nighttime trying to help people find jobs and work. Hey, listen, tonight, job boards versus social media and the cost and stuff that I've been, from LinkedIn and, just researching and seeing what a lot of the problems are. And, the Indeeds of the world, your job boards, you're paying big bucks, pay per click, for middle management, skilled trades, professional, fields. And your social media is your entry level middle management. But I've said it numerous times before, don't underestimate the social media for posting a professional job. It might sound crazy, but I tell people all the time, it takes one person to see that job. That's it. And if they're at a football games all coming up now and sports are back and they're sitting on their cell phones, don't ever underestimate it. Put those jobs in there also. And you might see, it might take you a while to somebody to fill it out, but if you boost it properly, you might be able to find somebody. But the cost for both, the cost for small business, Indeed, it's just crazy. You're paying, all the job boards, you're paying per click. And I had, Career Builder for over a year and a half, and I couldn't wait to get rid of them. They were horrible. They were just horrible. The money that you paid there on Career Builder, you paid a certain amount. I think it was like some $800 for 5 job postings a month, and you could switch it in between. So my answer to some of the jobs on Indeed and all that is take the freaking job down. If you're not hiring anymore, take it down, end it, get it out of there. Because I'll tell you what, you can call out a lot of companies on Indeed, because no matter what you type in, right? It's always the same top 10 companies come up. Always, whether they have a job or not, it's on there. And that's what makes it irritated for the job seeker, because even when you get specific, there they are again. They're on the front page. Now they're paying for that. And so are you, in a way. So the employer and the staffing agency, you're both paying for it. So take the job down. You're going to see, if you're in a mid-sized branch, 4 or 5 recruiters, and take it down. You slow those resumes, good ones that you're missing, because what's happening is all the thousands. Now get this. This is a big secret for job seekers or companies. So if you've been in business, let's just say in the corporate world for 10 years, let's just say 10 or 20, do you realize the database that you have? Now you have your ATSs and your CRMs and all that. The database you have, there's my cousin. Hey, Marie, I'm a little bit early tonight. But the database that you have right there, I'm telling you, go back at it. It's probably the same people, some of them that applied for you through the years. So what does that mean? So Career Builder, for example. So I had maybe 8,000 to 10,000 resumes through the year. And, that's for small. But I would utilize it to email 25 candidates at a time. It didn't matter what they applied for. I would always reply back, say, hey, it's Dave of, the company. And I said, you could go ahead and why don't you come back, and we have these new jobs available. Please email or call us. And you got some really good responses back from that. Again, if you have 100 people that you email and 2 get back to you and 1 gets hired, that's all it takes. So utilize the resumes that you have for years. Social media, I've said it before. If you have social media for 5 years, 10 years, right? I'd say about 5. Go back on every message. I know it's tedious. Every message that's ever come by you, you just sit there, copy, paste, cut, copy, paste, cut. Hey, it's been a while. Haven't heard from you, right? Oh, God, here he comes. I was on this gentleman's show today. How you doing, Mr. Stephen Farrell, all the way in Utah? But what I was saying about is the database, utilize what you have. You have thousands. I had thousands. So they're yours. You paid for them. So if you utilize them correctly, I guarantee within the past 5 years, you probably have a lot of the candidates that applied just recently. I bet if you typed in their names, they're going to come up, because you paid for all of them. You have them. You've paid for all your social media message. You've paid for all your text us messages from 5 years ago. Go back to them. Go back through them, because the cost, the savings from the job boards that you're paying pay per click. Same with social media. Some of those job boards, when you click on, you don't know it, guess what? When you click on those Indeed jobs, that costs the customer. If you don't know that, that's what costs. So if a small business puts out a job and you have 50 to 100 people and they're not even qualified, think about it. You're paying per click. So my advice, I wouldn't want to pay. Listen, if I have a job, I'm posting it. When it's down, when it's over, replace it. Replace it with a job, because you can do it. You can do it within that 30-day slot. Replace it with a job that you have currently then, because you're already paying for it, so you can just brush it out. So take the job down. I can tell you companies right now, I made a list, but then I wasn't going to say it. You get irritated because the same job, I swear, same job is the same job for the last 5 years. Don't they ever fill it? That's what I'm talking about. That's what's wrong with like Indeed and the job boards. Social media is a little bit different because, you have to put that in there more. But for God's sake, when you got freaking the same jobs on the boards all the time, same ones. Let's just use that. I love using Coke and Pepsi. I always use that. Coca-Cola and Pepsi, you got every friggin' ad up for the same thing. Looking for extruder operators, looking for this, looking for that, looking for making cans, I don't know, but bottles and glass blowers. But think about it. Soda. How's that, Steve? Soda. All right, soda. You get mad at it because it's the same one. That's why job seekers get irritated, because you're applying for a job that doesn't exist. It's not even there. I can tell you some of the companies, I have them right here. Again, I'm not. But that job's been there for 5 years. You're paying a lot of money. That corporation's paying a lot of money just to get resumes, and that's all they're doing. They are doing to get resumes. That is it. Steve, 100%, and he knows what it's like. He deals with it every day in Utah. So, I mean, you are paying for that one way or another. The staffing companies pay for it big time, and so is a corporation. But if you really want to save money, also is get that website from a small business all the way up to a corporation. Get that website. You want to draw that traffic to that website because you'll have your jobs on there, your career jobs. Listen, if I was looking for a job right now, right, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can do it on your job boards every day. Apply for 2 to 3 of them. Start out with that way. You don't want to apply for 10. You really need to look at it if it matches you, right? So apply for it. Apply for it again. The other jobs, right? You're all set there. Write up a list of like a 20-mile radius, 25. Google it. Top companies within a 25-mile radius of you. Or go on the job boards and look at the companies hiring. And instead of doing that, when you see the companies hiring, go to their website. And you're going to see a lot easier process. It should be. If the company makes the website hiring easy, you got it made. You're going to save money there. But a lot of companies don't care. They'll say it's expensive, but they don't care. A lot of the staffing companies, it's expensive, but you got to use it. But if you use it smart, you've got to utilize it. I don't care what people say. They're going to sit there and say, we don't have time for this. You can work smart with it. You can utilize it to your advantage to save you money, to save the customer money. Take the jobs down that are not open. You're going to get a lot more response from that. So go out, find the companies, look at their websites. LinkedIn is the second top way to find a job in the professional services, skilled trades, middle management. And listen, I've even seen, your entry-level jobs. There's a lot of people out there putting some good profiles on. So don't ever underestimate that, because that person that's in an entry-level job might be ready to move up. So by them really doing a great job on their page, it's like labeling a person. It's the same thing. What does it matter what type of job you're in for on LinkedIn? Make a nice page. It's professionals. It's for everybody. So if you want to move up, if you're looking for work, the networking is one of the second top ways to find people, to find a job. Networking. Reach out on LinkedIn to people. Tag them. Say, hey, put out there, you're seeking for work on LinkedIn. Post your resume. Tag every friggin' company you can think of right in that area, 25-mile radius. Don't put companies on that you don't want. Then look, or have your cell phone or another laptop up. Look who works there, right? At John Smith. The worst thing that's going to happen there is John Smith gets a notification that his name was on LinkedIn. All right, so John Smith might be in a good mood that day and say, whoa, look at that. I like that person. You see what I'm saying? My favorites, it only takes one. One hiring manager, one staffing manager, one corporate recruiter, anything. It takes one person to see you, and you're visible by utilizing the videos, like I've always said, doing videos. The downside of using job boards, like I said, expensive. The reoccurring fees, some of them, like I said, Career Builder's reoccurring. Then what are the advantages? Top 10. Automated job notifications. We all know that is right. Man, if you're looking for a job, your phone just blows up all the time. Man. You put on there and put your resume and put your email. Holy crow, from Glassdoor and all those places. It's just the job boards, when you apply, send messages almost like they're real people, but they're not. They're not even bots. I have no friggin' clue what they are, but they're respond here if you're still interested. 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, up to 5. Are you still interested? Come on, get friggin' real. 5 weeks later, you're just messaging me in an email. Hi, David. Are you still interested? Confirm our interest by pushing this. I was like, what the hell is this? So it wasn't a bot, but it's a generated email. But it has to link. I'm sure it links them right to it, and you can figure it out. You're like, come on, this isn't a person, So the automated job notifications, but it works. Listen, if there's a really good job, I'm not saying not to apply for it, but do the research on it. Seriously, next time you apply for the job, right? Look back on some of the job boards. You'll see that they're still there. I'm serious. Employers come to you. That's common sense. You're on a job board. They come to you. That's how they're making money. We need to make money, so we're going to pour out thousands of jobs that don't exist. It's true. Thousands of jobs that don't exist, we're going to hand to you and have you click and click and click and click and pay the money. That's it. 60%. I didn't have to look at my sheet for that. 60% of the income from the job boards, that's how they make it right there. 60%. So here, everybody, here's 10,000 jobs. Really, there's only about 4. But we want you to apply for this anyway, so we can build the corporate centers and we can build the staffing agencies. Makes sense, right? Resume building tips, you get all loaded with them. Jesus, once you sign up for the job boards, boy, that person must be busy. That's such a racket. The business that they've come across on some of these job boards, it's just not even that. Where's that other 40%? It's stuff like that. Hey, you want your resume done, right? Go on LinkedIn and just, you can find a lot of these skill sets like resume building right on LinkedIn. There's a lot of people that do that and they're really good at it. And it's really not that high priced, but you go on some of these companies, boy, you better start ready to shell it out, because they're going to say, oh, it's got to have all these words in it. Why? because they want your money. Simple. Some people, and that'll be another show between the ATSs and everything, the way it reads it. I saw one post today where the one Java and the one IT tech, he didn't put everything down. So when he found out he didn't get the job, they gave it to somebody that was more experienced in a certain software. He's like, I had that software and they should have known because they didn't read my resume. And if you know that certain job, it has to have that. And he was irritated on LinkedIn. I had to respond to it, and I don't blame him, because that's not a human being. The human being isn't really doing it. It's generated. Let's see, we're going to send the right ones to you, but you got to be careful about that. Don't put all the words in that you don't know how to do. You're going to get called on it. You're going to get called on it, and it's a waste of time. If you see that you don't meet majority, 50, 60% of it, I'd say, then apply for it. But if you're below that, don't apply for it. It's just a waste of time, waste your emails. Listen, now you're on your email trend, so now you have to take your time transferring all over to the junk file, right? And Tim says, nope, it's all AI. And that's what I mean. But it's getting real. Those emails and all that stuff, I mean, I like the bots and all that, but this new email process, and then, boy, they got you on the phone. 8 times today I had a phone call. It says spam risk, but I just listened to it. It's that person with a great voice, and he just waits for it. They must record every little freaking thing that you say. And it'll start all over. And you're like, damn it, that's a freaking spam call. But they're getting good, and they're going to get better and better. But there you again, see, all this goes off of the job board. So it's just like a spider. It's like spreading out like the web. It's all going out, and everybody's getting income off it. But at the end of the day, you still need job boards. That's the thing. You still need job boards. You still need a good website. You still need social media. And regardless, you're going to pay. And one of the, it says, all right, so you can save a lot of money with the website, and that's common sense. Some of the top job boards are LinkedIn, Monster, ZipRecruiter, Simply Hired, Career Builder. Don't get me going on them again. Google's for Job. Google, I never did that yet. I never utilized that, Google for Jobs. I mean, Facebook, Craigslist, Snagajob. Snagajob is underestimated. If people have not utilized that, Snagajob does have some good jobs on it, and it's reasonably priced. So a lot of people don't check that out. They don't know about it. Snagajob.com, Glassdoor, Dice, all those. There's so many to choose from. But the thing of it is it's all going. Once you post it on one or two, it's all figured out. It goes to all of them. So you're applying at one or two, but it goes to all the job boards. Because when you do the sales and they're calling you up, hey, would you like to go with Indeed or Career Builder? But it goes out to other 12 free job posting boards, ones you've never heard of. But free, it ain't friggin' free. Let me tell you, nothing's for free on those job boards. It's just, they got a great system down. I wish there was a way that the staffing companies and the corporations could kind of just go after and say, okay, stop using job boards for a couple months. And maybe, we'll see a price reduction on that, for God's sake. But, I'm sorry for saying that, but it's just, you get irritated. This was my favorite thing. Oh, here we go. Why is it so hard to get a job? Most employees move from job to job through careers. Companies are no longer as loyal to their employees as they once were. Because of that changed relationship, employers need to get their immediate return from their higher investment. That leads to become more selective about who they hire. That I had to read like 2 or 3 times, because I'm thinking most employees move from job to job. Years ago, you had a lot of people that had 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50 years with a company. That's rare anymore. They're saying an average of 3 to 7 moves now per person within their career. That's a lot, 7. But after reading it for a couple of times, it kind of made sense. How many jobs do you apply for a day? They say aim 2 to 3, but you're doing a lot of time. Take those 2 to 3 again. I told you, go to the job sites. After you apply for a job for the company, if you know what company it is, go ahead and apply at their website. You're going to see jobs on there that are confidential. Listen, I've done that. Confidential means either you're going to get rid of somebody, you want to find somebody, they don't want to post the company, or the company doesn't want to get everybody showing up at their site. And I understand that. So again, Coke and Pepsi, you're running job ads for them. You're going to have that. Sometimes it'll say, oh geez, I'm losing my words. Confidential. They might not want everybody coming over there. So they might have a manager position and confidential. Everybody knows. I know. I mean, I've done that. So because if you're looking for another person, that's the way it goes. That is correct. No employer is loyal to their employees. Right, Jennifer. And when I read that, I'm going to read it again. Why is it so hard to get a job? Most employees move from job to job throughout their careers. Companies are no longer as loyal to their employees as they once were. Because of that changed relationship, employers need to get an immediate return from their hire investment. That leads them to become more selective about who they hire. And she's right. Jennifer's right there. It's the truth. And Tim, applicant value system has changed. Correct. And that's exactly what I'm trying to say there. And I'm glad that you picked up on that. But how many jobs a day, that doesn't matter. I mean, if you find 5 good jobs, what's the difference? But go to the website. This one was funny. What do you do when a recruiter doesn't respond, right? And they don't respond to you? Mourn about it, let it all out, cry on your bed, punch your freaking pillows. Don't let it affect your other applications. Start becoming impatient. Keep asking questions, but seriously, get over it. I like how they put that. Getting ghosts sucks, but it's best to let it go, because you'll eat yourself up. Why aren't they calling me? Why? I went through 1, 2 interviews, 3 interviews. And the answer is that there's 2 things. One, the recruiters, on a good note, listen, I don't, not all recruiters are bad. There's some really good recruiters out there, and they're ones that haven't been, they haven't been trained right. So by doing that, it's this time to call me instead. That's a really good way, But see, I start talking and I'm out of there. So we talked about the recruiter. I forgot what I was saying. So the recruiter doesn't get back with you. There's a couple different reasons. Sometimes the recruiters don't have time. I'm telling you, the corporations, they put a lot of in paperwork and emails and payroll and all the kinds of work that they don't need to be doing. They need to be recruiting. So they're overwhelmed with work plus doing the recruiting. So sometimes I wish they would just take that away, let the recruiter recruit. Or the recruiter just has a hard time saying no. They don't like that discussion of calling somebody up and saying, you know what, you didn't get the job. I apologize, but this is what they said. Boom. That's it. So there's 2 sides, and administrative work. See, it only took me a couple minutes there, but to take that administrative work away from the recruiters, put that on someone else, and you're going to be really efficient when a recruiter can sit down and have time to make 10 calls, plus recruit for the jobs, plus answer the phones and all that kind of stuff. But it does come down to that. So that's why sometimes it takes a little bit longer. I got 2 more things here. 7 things, I love this, that you should never tell a recruiter. I feel like it's a joke show here, like telling a joke. I'm pretty desperate. That makes sense. It'll do, I suppose. I hated my last boss and colleagues. That's probably one of the most reason why you're leaving. Did you not even bother to read my CV? CV means resume. I'm hoping to go traveling at some point. I just want more money. All right. I'd probably accept a counteroffer. They're just kind of some of the things that they say, don't ask a recruiter. About following up on an application, 48 hours, usually 48 to 72 hours. It says here that you should reach out. You do in 24 hours. You'd want to send a response back saying thank you and you enjoyed the interview process. You'll be waiting, excited, and make yourself really seem like you're really interested in that job. But you want to try to do that within the 24 hours, because that recruiter is going to forget you just like that. Sometimes. Last thing on LinkedIn, listen, LinkedIn's one of the great underused for job postings. They're really good. I mean, you can really hit a lot of people. And then when you post a job, you don't have to respond to the job applicant, or you can just push and send an email, a generated email that you didn't fit, needs. Everybody knows that on LinkedIn. It's not, LinkedIn recruiters they will call you, but to post your own job and respond to it, it's pretty easy. So on that note, I got to get going. It's still a long night yet, and hope you learned something there before. But take the job down. The main thing I want everybody to know is take the job down. If it's no longer posted or no longer you have to fill it, take it down. I'll talk to everybody soon.